this money-back guarantee in place about a year and a half ago, we've only had to issue 4 refunds. We're very, very proud of that. We're also really proud of the fact that when you're doing a big development, when you're trying to look at a site that's really complex, nearly every time you require a permit through the Department of Environmental Protection. And go ask any developer, they would complain about the Department of Environmental Protection. They would say it would take just too long to get things done there. I want you to know that under the leadership of Secretary Shirley, we reduced our permit backlog at the Department of Environmental Protection by 88%, from 2,400 permits that were just sitting on a desk to now less than 300. We have done all of this work and never had to issue a refund from the Department of Environmental Protection because they're now issuing permits on time. You can clap for that if you want. I will also say, in all the businesses you have here in Bedford County and all across Pennsylvania, each and every one of them require at least one permit in common, a business license to be able to operate in Pennsylvania. The day that I was sworn in, that Rick was sworn in, it took 8 weeks to get that business license. Today you can get it same day in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We're moving at the speed of business. That was the third thing we needed, speed. The fourth thing, and what brings me here today, is we needed more resources to bring to bear to encourage and incentivize that growth. Our cupboard had run dry and our toolkit was really minimal compared to other states. And so I went to your representatives and I went to the House and Senate. And by the way, I should note, we've got a House led by Democrats, a Senate led by Republicans. I'm one of the only governors in the country with a divided legislature. Yet we were able to come together to invest a new $1 billion in economic development. Put together with the other resources we had, we now have a pot of nearly $2 billion to help with economic incentives. And I want to give a special shout out to Representative Leader Topper, as well as Senator Stefano. They came together and voted for that bipartisan budget to be able to put us in a position to have more dollars to invest in communities like this. They're people I have worked with in order to advance the cause of economic development and much more. And I think you should feel privileged to have them as your elected leaders in this community. We appreciate them. And I want you to know that our work is starting to pay off. In addition to the public dollars that we've been able to bring to bear, thanks to the leadership of Secretary Siger, we've leveraged those dollars to be able to bring in $3.7 billion in private sector investment, creating over 5,000 new jobs across Pennsylvania. And I want you to know that that is just the start. When we look to add to our toolkit, we went around and asked the economic developers, the site selectors, the people around the country. I literally went to them and said, why aren't you choosing Pennsylvania? Why'd you go to another state? And they said, well, the truth is you don't have sites that are kind of pad ready to go where you can bring a company in and say, here you go, everything's hooked up, everything's ready to go. We've got your energy, we've got your utilities, everything is online. We didn't have those sites. We do now, thanks to a new $500 million, a $500 million Pennsylvania Sites Fund that we've gotten passed by the legislature and in place. And now we're in a position to be able to have pads ready. Now, we like to pressure test these things so we don't ever waste taxpayer dollars. Before going to the legislature and asking them for $500 million, we set aside $10 million for site development. Secretary Siger went out all across Pennsylvania and sought bids to see what we would do with those $10 million. He got over 100 different applications, totaling $235 million of really quality projects. We used that to ask the legislature for this $500 million fund. They granted us that $500 million fund, which brings me to Bedford County today. I wanted to be here today to make the initial announcements for our Commonwealth's first tranche of awards of what we refer to as PA Sites money, that $500 million. The first tranche totals $64 million and represents 11 projects across Pennsylvania. But I wanted to come to Bedford County today to announce the first site in our state, and that is for $2.8 million for a grant to BCDA to be able to develop this land right here behind us. This is a big deal. We've seen the success of Business Park 1, which the Commonwealth invested in. We are now beginning to see the plans for Business Park 2, and I know Business Park 3 is on the horizon. And by the way, I must say, for as talented as your economic development group is, you should pick your names a little bit more creatively. I don't know. I mean, maybe 1, 2, and 3 works. It's up to you. I'm not going to micromanage you, but that would be the only thing I could offer this great team. But look, they're out of room with Business Park 1, and we've got to see the vision for 2 and 3 forward, and the Commonwealth wants to be a part of that. And so as part of our PA Sites program, we're going to be investing an initial $2.8 million in this next phase, and we're looking forward to continuing to work with you for future phases. What these dollars will go to is extending water and sewer lines to this new site, providing companies that want to come here a pad-ready site for their operations. Here in Bedford County, we are literally turning dirt into jobs. This is real freedom, this is real opportunity, and it is really happening in Bedford County thanks to the great leaders up here and the commitment from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I am proud of the fact that Pennsylvania is not only investing these dollars and creating jobs across Pennsylvania, I'm proud of the fact that folks are starting to really take note. We are now the top state in the Northeast for regional economic competitiveness by Site Selector magazine. Remember, Site Selector magazine used to look past Pennsylvania. Now we're being recognized as the best. Forbes has now rated us one of the best states in the country to start a business, and I hope they see the businesses we're starting here in Bedford County. Wallet Hub now recognizes our Commonwealth among the top 3 states for quality of life. CNBC puts us in the top 10 states for affordability, and literally the only state on the East Coast that bears that distinction. Our work is paying off, and we are showing results. But I am competitive as hell, I must tell you. I want to be first in every category. And so I want to see more development here in Bedford County and all across Pennsylvania. So we're going to continue to call on lawmakers to invest in our toolkit. We're going to continue to find ways to be even faster. We're going to continue to work with the public sector and private sector alike to be able to spur on more economic growth. And we're going to continue to find ways to partner with great regional leaders like what you have here in Bedford County. So it is good to be back with you. Today is a great day to celebrate. Today is a day to turn this dirt into jobs and to see a great future of possibility and opportunity here in Bedford County. And I couldn't be more proud to be your partner and to be your governor. And so with that, it is my pleasure to bring up the aforementioned Betty Slayton. I hope the first question from the media is if she could be willing to delay her retirement to get to phase 3, 4, 5, and 6. But no, I'm just kidding. We're grateful, Betty, for all of your work, and we're excited for your future. And with that, Betty, I want to recognize you to say a few words. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Governor Shapiro. Big news, right? This grant is truly a game changer for Bedford County. It gives us the ability to develop and to proactively market new shovel-ready sites. And that's something that's absolutely critical in recruiting and attracting new employers. You need to have the sites. With our existing business parks nearly sold out, we've missed too many opportunities because we simply didn't have the sites that could accommodate the needs of the prospects who were calling us. But now, thanks to this investment, we're back in the game. The successes we've experienced in the past have been the result of a strong partnership with the state. The state has not only helped us to develop the sites in our business parks, it's also helped us to market them as well. Projects like the Walmart Distribution Center, Captive Air, and REI came to Bedford County through the Governor's Action Team, now known as Business PA. Thank you, Governor Shapiro, for understanding what rural Pennsylvania counties need and for developing a program that meets these needs. Today's grant lets us announce that once again, Bedford County is open for business. Thank you.
Good stuff. Thank you.
Oh, and I get a little full of myself there. I'd like to introduce now the Secretary of the Department of Community and Economic Development, Rick Seiger.
Thanks, Betty. It's a great job. Well, thanks, and good afternoon, everyone. It's so good to be here. Thanks, Betty. Congratulations on your upcoming retirement. It's sad for us, great for you. Your leadership has really been critical here, especially if I've come into this job in these last 2 years, to move forward not just this county, but really this region. And congrats to Jennifer as well for joining the team. I often say economic development's a team sport, and we at the state are only as good as our partners. And in Bedford, we're really good because of you, so thanks. There's a couple people here that haven't been acknowledged that, in my view, are really the stars of the show here. And that's Mandy Book, Ryan Emerson, and Brian Eckert, who are sitting up front here from our team. Mandy leads this team with Ryan and Brian to develop these sites. They manage our business financing programs, and they, over this past year, have stood up really a historically significant site program. Thank you to you all, in addition to, of course, John and Pro, who was mentioned earlier, our regional director. And, of course, thanks to you, Governor. It's really because of your leadership and dedication to this work that we're able to secure this funding and create this opportunity. And I will say, some of this has been said already, but it's worth repeating. Since we took office, we've listened to groups locally, we've listened to real estate professionals, we've listened to business, frankly, about what they need. What does it take for us to compete? And one of those really key takeaways, it's literally strategy one in our economic development strategy, is that we've got to have the product to compete. We've got to have pad-ready industrial sites. Without that inventory across Pennsylvania, businesses just don't have options to locate here, and they'll go somewhere else. And that's just not an acceptable outcome for me, and it's not an acceptable outcome for the governor. And it's not acceptable for our people. We've got to be able to compete for expansions of existing businesses and new businesses coming to Pennsylvania. That's why we started last year's pilot program. We recognized that overwhelming demand where everyone knew we had just $10 million to grant. We got $230 million of applications across Pennsylvania. And we worked in a bipartisan way to secure this historic site investment, the first dollars of which I'm extremely proud to stand before you today to announce. This puts us back in the game so we can really compete. And while I'm really proud to be a part of this first announcement, I want to be clear that there's much more to come. There's much more funding for sites, additional dollars all across Pennsylvania for great projects. Projects that will attract more businesses, not just in big cities, but as the governor mentioned, in our rural areas like Bedford and into suburban areas as well. We have a saying on our team, it's actually on my fleece today, which is that Pennsylvania gets it done. Pennsylvania gets it done. Yep, it says it right here. It's official. Today is an example of how we're fulfilling that promise. We heard from you that we needed more sites. We worked on a bipartisan basis to secure the funding, and we are investing in Pennsylvania today and here in Bedford. It's an honor to be here with you all, especially with Governor Shapiro, to celebrate the first of many such announcements to come. We're so excited to keep this momentum and energy going. And as I wrap up here, I will just say, I mentioned early on that economic development is a team sport. We can't do it, especially without strong local leadership, and it's my pleasure to introduce to close out our program, Commissioner Mike Stiles. Commissioner, please.
Bedford County quickly rebounded after the 2020 pandemic. Our people made the difference. The support of federal, state, local government officials, along with a lot of forward thinkers, made things happen. BCDA and Betty Slayton, a big part of that, has developed relationships with various officials to promote economic growth for the county. BCDA has put plans in place to react when opportunity arises. Governor Shapiro's plan to make Pennsylvania more competitive with shovel-ready sites to promote industrial growth is a shot in the arm for BCDA and Bedford County. Bedford County, as you can see, is real estate ready. We have the location for this program and to put the plan into action. Governor Shapiro's PA Sites Initiative is just what's needed to move the ball forward. Another example of working together for a common goal. Together, we can build a better tomorrow for all.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And with that, we'd be happy to take some questions from the media Betty, you want to handle this since it's your last? No. Go ahead. Anything from the media? Yep.
Do you have any businesses committed to being located here yet, or no?
That I will defer to Betty.
Not yet. But once this, now that this is public, we will be marketing in conjunction with Business PA. I'm sure that once we're able to announce that it's coming, we will have a lot of interest because we have had, but we couldn't land them.
You know, if you bring a company along this road here and you tell them to look out at this field and say, oh, we're going to set your company up here, very hard for that company to look and say, yeah, I want to locate here. Because you know what? Time is money for them. They don't have time to go and build a bunch of stuff and hook a bunch of things up and check with the utility companies and figure out what's what. But imagine now they come out and they see a pad, it's ready to go, all the hookups are there, and all they got to do is tell us what kind of building they want to sell their product or whatever it is. They're going to be way more apt to choose Bedford County at that point. That's why these sites are so important. We see this dirt and we see opportunity. A business might see this dirt and kind of worry that there's too much risk for them. We want to de-risk that and give them a chance to succeed, and that's why this site's money is so important. Anything else? Yeah.
What is the total projected cost for this project, and where's the rest of the funding going to come from?
I think that's probably a question for yeah.
The total project cost thus far is a little over $5 million. We have acquired the land for $2.2 million, and so that's our equity, and using a PETA loan as well. We used the state loan to help join us with our equity, and then this $2.8 million grant is going to help us bring the water, sewer, and the roads and to complete it.
And just to clarify, the land cost is included in that $5 million?
Yes, not the $2.8 million, but but it's independent of, in addition to.
In addition to the $5 million?
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's part of the 5. The 2.2 is for the land. The 2.8 is doing the hookups and the roads and things like that.
Right. Okay.
Correct?
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Yep. Hey.
What's kind of the timeline for it, and exactly what will be the size of this kind of in terms of the area covered?
Betty, it really is.
Yeah. I mean, I can go, but really Betty will know better. Yeah.
Well, believe me, I'm thinking as soon, and my board is here, many members of our board is here, and we are going to giddy up. We're going to get the contract signed with you all, and then the first step will be doing the engineering, getting the engineering of the site so that then we can go to bid and have contractors have apples and oranges that they can bid on the project, and then we'll be ready to go. Jeff, you're an engineer. How long is it? How fast can we get the engineering designs done?
Yeah. It'll be
Next
fine.
week, yeah.
You want to add something? By the way, he says Pennsylvania gets it done. You say we're going to giddy up. I think you should change your
I'll put like a
sweater.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Go ahead.
Look, I just want to say, like, the theory of the case here is, as the governor said, to kind of de-risk this project, right? So locally, there's real dollars in this project, right? There's land that's assembled. We're able to come forward with dollars that can help de-risk this development for a future user. And we think that kind of multiple amounts of funds, right, state and local funds leveraged together, really helps us win here. The goal here is to make this fully marketable so that the next time we have a terrific company looking to manufacture something, hopefully in one of these targeted sectors the governor's talking about, we can bring them here and they can develop that much faster because we have the right site in place.
Anything else? Good, Manuel?
Yeah, I think we got one more here,
Oh.
and then we'll wrap it up.
I'm sorry. Is there, with this project, is there any talk to connect Route I-99 to I-68 to kind of bring traffic in for KS?
Not as part of this project.
Not right now, but look, we understand that PennDOT, our roads, our bridges, our infrastructure are absolutely critical to economic development. By the way, I'm proud of the fact that Pennsylvania last year repaired more bridges than any other state in the entire country. Told you I was competitive as hell. I'm glad we're number one on that. And right now, we're actually working together in a bipartisan fashion to have a big infrastructure bill that can pass both the House and Senate that includes investing in mass transit and investing in roads and bridges. We all understand the need to do both. And so that's an example of having more dollars available so that if an economic development project needs an added road, a slip ramp, a turn lane, whatever it needs in order to be successful, to get its trucks in and out or to get workers to the site more easily, we want to have the resources available to do that. So we understand the importance of infrastructure. I think, I certainly don't, think I'm going on a limb speaking for them on this. I think Senator Stefano and Representative Topper also understand the importance of infrastructure. It's one of the things that has brought Democrats and Republicans together, and I think we're all going to work together to continue to enhance the dollars available for transportation projects here in Bedford County and across the state. Okay? Great. Thank you all very much. Thanks, Betty.
Thank you.
You were great.
Thank you. Would you like to meet Greg?
I'd love to
the
meet
biotech
everybody.
guy and-
Yeah.